Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Brian, and on this channel I like to talk about my passions, the Beatles, music, movies, and physical media. And I wanted to talk about this for quite a while. By the way, if you like any of those things that I just mentioned, please hit that subscribe button and spread the word. I don't post a lot. I post at random, but trying to get better in posting more consistently. So just stick around. But I mean, like I said, I wanted to talk about this for a while now. We really don't have too much on the Beatles front right now, other than the Blu-ray release of Get Back. That's pretty much about it. We have no big box sets on the horizon. There's nothing coming out. Absolutely nothing coming out. So kind of strange, after the last couple of years we had all these big box sets and everything, and we have absolutely nothing. But I wanted to talk about Paul McCartney and the double standard that happens with him, or I feel happens with him when it comes to, I'd say, primarily critics, but also fans too. Not that many. And it's this double standard, whether he writes a childlike song or a British music hall type song, and they call it Paul and his granny music, or it's a song where the words don't quite make any sense and they say Paul is copping out, or he writes songs that have absolutely no meaning. A lot of that has tempered, and it's not that big of a deal with the younger generation nowadays. But if I remember growing up and reading Beatles books and hearing critics, there was a lot of negativity towards Paul's stuff. Paul writes soppy ballads, and John is the rocker and all this other stuff. I mean, you know the myth. Us Beatlemaniacs know the myth. And it is a myth. But if we go all the way back to when the people started to pick on Maxwell Silverhammer, I never picked on Maxwell Silverhammer. It's a wicked song, a very clever song, in the fact that it's this happy-go-lucky feeling, and it's about a psycho. That's why I love it, because it's so twisted. And I know John called it Paul's granny music, and George called it at the time. It's a very, dated term, but he used it. He said Paul would make us do these fruity songs. And, there was that attitude towards a song like Maxwell Silverhammer, except for John Mendelsohn in Rolling Stone. I'm paraphrasing here, but in his review of Abbey Road, he said only two people could have written that song, Paul McCartney and Ray Davies. And that had me thinking. Ray Davies, beginning with the well-respected man and the Kinks, did a lot of sort of jaunty British music hall type songs. Nobody gets the humor in the Beatles stuff, especially When I'm 64. But Ray Davies, they get the sort of dark humor in it. And I could imagine the Kinks doing Maxwell Silverhammer, a bit rougher than the way the Beatles did it, because Paul did take after take after take after take after take of the song. But I could imagine Ray Davies with Bang, bang, Maxwell Silverhammer came down upon her head. Bang, bang, Maxwell Silverhammer made sure that she was dead. And you can imagine Dave Davies doing his very simple harmony behind it, which would have been more like, bang, bang, Maxwell Silverhammer came down upon her head. And it being a Kinks song. And I could just imagine how many critics would have praised the song. They definitely would have praised the song. Ray Davies was always able to get away with it. People praise, and don't get me wrong, I love the Kinks, but there's this double standard. Paul is criticized for doing a granny song in Maxwell Silverhammer, yet Ray Davies is always praised for doing those type of songs. Nobody gets the dark humor on When I'm 64. Think about it. The lyrics are written from a 20-something-year-old who is the swinging London bachelor about town, sleeping with every girl he could while Jane Asher was out of town. Think about it. Doing the garden, digging the weeds. Who could ask for more? It's a life of boredom, honestly. I could be handy mending a fuse. Well, the guy's now 80 and he's out performing probably his best show in a long time at Glastonbury. So there you go. It was meant to be very tongue-in-cheek. And as George Martin called it in his book on the making of Sgt. Pepper, Paul's vision of hell. So think about it. I mean, even in Wings, he's got a brilliant song that I love, You Gave Me the Answer.
Love eternity. I love you and you seem to like me.
But Paul is always criticized of doing these jaunty granny ditties. Yet there's a hard rock band, a very famous hard rock band, who's even more popular nowadays, that did those same type of tunes. They're called Queen.
That's on two legs. You're tearing me apart.
A Night at the Opera. Lazy on a Sunday afternoon. Seaside Rendezvous. It's all on that record. And there's a couple others that they did too. So Queen is praised for doing that type of stuff, but Paul, granny music. So I don't know what my point is, but it's a question. Why is there a double standard with Paul? I think those songs are brilliant. Going back to the Ram album, Rolling Stone trashed that album, and they particularly trashed Monkberry Moon Delight. He writes songs that are meaningless. Honestly, it's a brilliant vocal by Paul. I don't care what the hell he's singing about. It's a play on words. Ketchup, soup, and puree, don't get left behind. And then later on, catch up, cats and kittens. I mean, what's I Am the Walrus about, people? So Paul writes a meaningless song like Monkberry Moon Delight, but everybody over-intellectualizes I Am the Walrus, which I think is a brilliant song as well. But again, double standard. Everybody tries to say what John was talking about. He meant this was the death of the 60s and blah, blah. I mean, I've heard stuff along those lines. John wrote that song to really take the piss out of the Beatles fan who over-intellectualizes their songs. I Am the Walrus means absolutely everything and nothing. Same thing with Monkberry Moon Delight. So why is I Am the Walrus so praised and Monkberry Moon Delight is not? I don't know what Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey is about. I don't care. It's still a brilliant piece of music. Bob Dylan wrote several types of songs that have nonsense lyrics in it. Visions of Johanna. I don't know what the hell that's about. Jewels and binoculars hang from the head of the mule.
Mailboxes drip like lampposts in the twisted birth canal of the Colosseum.
But critics have praised Dylan for those type of nonsensical lyrics. Paul, on the other hand, is writing meaningless lyrics. I don't know why there's such a double standard. Maybe somebody could help me figure it out. People criticize silly love songs. But the song is criticizing the people who criticize silly love songs. That's what it's about. Nobody realizes that silly love songs is essentially a fuck off to the critics, criticizing him. And not only that, it's got a brilliant bass line. Do 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 do. That bass line hooks you in. Criticize that song all you want. That bass line, I don't care what you say, is one of the best bass lines out there. But John did his versions of soppy songs. That's one of the reasons I have a hard time getting through the Mind Games album. Only people know just how to talk to people. I can imagine the cast of Sesame Street singing that. It'd be cool if they did, but seriously, think about that. Only people know just how to talk to people. And Beautiful Boy. It's a beautiful tribute to Sean and him realizing what a father he was. But Paul has written several songs like that, and he was criticized for it. Again, Beautiful Boy is praised. But could you imagine if Paul wrote Beautiful Boy? You think they would have praised him for writing that? I don't think so. So maybe you could help me out. Why is there this double standard when it comes to Paul as opposed to other people? Maybe it's that we expect more from Paul than we do a Ray Davies. We expect more from John Lennon, but, there's the double standard there. Maybe you could help me out. Help me out and give me some of your thoughts on this. I'd appreciate it. And thank you all for watching. I'll talk to you soon.